Hi, this is Troxel. In today's tutorial, we're going to look at adding a transition to a clip on the timeline. The transition can be either added to the beginning of the clip or to the end of the clip, and we'll look at both directions. So the process is really very similar to adding an effect. So this should be a fairly short tutorial, but we'll look to see how to add a transition. Let's look at the code that we were using in the last tutorial, and this is where we were adding an effect. Basically, we did our enable QE so that we could look at the QE side, because adding an effect or a transition requires the QE side. We got our app sequence and our QE sequence. Then we got our app track and our QE track. And then we got our QE clip and our app clip. In this particular case, we're going to be using the QE clip to add the transition. First thing we're going to do is get our transition to apply, and we're going to have this to be at the beginning of the clip, so we're going to call it in, and then we're going to get the transition to apply but at the end of the clip, and we'll call that out. So for our transition in, we go to our QE.project.getVideo transition by name, and then we will get the name of the transition we want to use. In this case, I chose clock wipe. Then we're going to do the same thing with QE.project.getVideo transition by name for the out transition, and we will use push for this one. If we look in Premiere, I just used the name that was listed here. Here is push, then down here is clock wipe. And so those are the names that we used. Now we need to add the actual transition. We create a variable here called tResult, and we're going to get that from myQEClip.addTransition, and then we're going to put this one at the front. So we're going to use transition to apply in right here, and then we're going to say comma true. Comma true means it will be added to the front of clip. Then the next line, we'll just get our tResult again. It's from myQEClip.addTransition, the transition to apply out, and this time we said /false because that is going to be at the back of the clip. So now let's run this and see what happens. It has started, it has stopped. Now let's go over to Premiere. You will see at the beginning we have a clock wipe. At the end we have a push. And if we go through these transitions, you will see that it is wiping on like a clock wipe should. There it is fully on. And then when we get to the push, it will push off of the screen. I told you it's going to be a short tutorial. As you can see, adding the transition is very, very easy to do, as long as you realize it has to be done on the QE side, and it is done exactly the same way that we added the effect, except this time we had to specify whether or not it would be at the beginning of the clip or at the end of the clip. If you put it on two clips that are back to back on the timeline, it will actually transition between the two clips. There are some limitations though. First limitation is I have not found a way to change the length of the transition. So you're going to get however long it specifies the transition to be. I also have not found any way to change the parameters of a transition via the script. So you have to add it via the script, but then you have to go in and manually change the parameters if you want them different values than the default. So other than those two restrictions, that would be how you add a transition to a clip in Premiere. Please sign up at www.JETDV.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.